Hello.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
That was, I watched this show, you guys.
Yeah, you actually watched the whole show through this time,
We're
huh?
kind of fucking amazed.
Yeah, I know that's a bizarre thing for me. I don't typically do that, but I'm here at work late and nothing's happening. So I
Okay,
did it.
Jonathan and I are going to talk about the show. Before we get into scores, give us general thoughts on the show as a newcomer.
General thoughts on the show as a newcomer. I think the quality of most of the wrestling was pretty phenomenal.
Nice.
I think that there was some great matches that were very exciting. I think they have a lot of technical issues to work out in terms of how to put on wrestling on a television show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
They look like people who are really good at wrestling in front of a crowd and not yet people who have the polish of putting on wrestling in front of a camera.
Yeah, we need to watch it for the broadcast, but I'm still betting it was better than Fyter Fest.
But I feel the criticisms that you have.
It's completely valid.
And I'm not saying because I know there was some issue with the camera work before. I think for the most part the camera work was good. There was only one moment where I was just like, "Hey guys, probably shouldn't have looked at that." But in general, I think the camera work was fine. It more had to do with it felt to me, and this is hard to quantify, difficult to prove.
Okay.
But as someone watching, it felt like people behind the scenes panicking. Like they weren't sure yet how to feel the flow of what they're trying to do. And I think nothing was more evident of that than the end.
Okay,
where
that's explainable.
Go ahead.
A lot of that, especially during any match where Cody is wrestling, it's just Tony running gorilla, and Tony's still learning all this shit.
Yeah.
So,
especially the last match, and at the end when they're like, "Oh yeah, we got to hit it. We're gonna hit time." Yeah, that makes sense.
Also, apparently, Jacksonville has some real fucking heavy noise ordinance issues that fuck their shows up all the time.
Yeah,
sure. They cut that show out 8 minutes early.
Yeah.
Like Shad Khan has billions of dollars. He doesn't have the money to take care of the noise.
But here's
would have
we could have you on and talk all night, but we can't do that because of time constraints on our end more than anybody's.
Prove it.
Okay.
Well, I want to go to bed.
The thing that Jonathan and I can't attest to because we were in the room is the commentary, because I know a lot of people were commenting on JR specifically.
Oh man. So first of all, I can't tell you the difference between the other two.
Okay.
I tried.
Right.
Actively to try to tell
So
the other two.
Was it Excalibur and Marvez?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds right. It was definitely Excalibur. It was 100% Excalibur. I think the other one was Marvez.
Excalibur is the one who knows shit.
Marvez is
the one who doesn't know shit.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. Just their voices were so similar.
Yeah, they're very similar. Very similar voices.
Yeah, you have to
But it was just
you have to actively listen to tell when Excalibur is talking, because it's knowledgeable versus talking out of his ass, which is Marvez.
Yeah.
So it was just basically JR and the other guys. And JR was fine usually during a match, but anytime they required him to do any sort of carrying of the show at all, it fell apart hard. He just was making up his own idioms that were not nonsensical and didn't mean anything. And he was clearly struggling also, because he'd turn to the other guys and be giving him a face, bail me out, and they weren't. But
what's funny is he's famous for being a play-by-play, but they've hired him at this age, and they understand that he can't keep up with that anymore, so they're having him be color, and he's okay at best at that. But it's like hiring Michael Jordan to play baseball. It's a different fucking thing that he has to do, and he's not. He was never great at it to begin with in terms of color, and then now he's super not great at it.
It's that, and it's also when he's turning to the other guys, Excalibur is not supposed to bail him out. Marvez is supposed to be bailing him out because he's the one that they're training. JR is only here temporarily as a senior advisor to help them transition over.
Yeah.
Well, and let me go ahead and underline senior there, because I think that's really what's going on here, is that you've got a guy who is just real past his prime, and I think he'd probably make an excellent advisor, but they really got to get him out of the boot.
That's the plan, but we don't have like a time frame for that.
Okay, let's talk about scores.
Let's talk about these scores. Can we talk about scores? For fuck's sake, can we just talk about these scores already?
I'm sorry that we wanted to hear your thoughts on the show.
Forgive us.
So let's talk first, as all good things should begin at the bottom. Let's talk about the Michael Nakazawa Participation Award.
Okay.
We're giving this in honor of Michael Nakazawa.
Let's be a little nice here, because the person who did get this is very upset, and not because of the award, but other reasons. But yeah.
Well, I have no control over this. This is just the system, man. I'm just telling you the rules.
I know, man. I'm just throwing that out there. Just like, let's not be dicks.
I'm saying we are giving this today. We are giving this Michael Nakazawa Participation Award in honor of Michael Nakazawa, who did not participate in the show.
For people who are unaware, Michael Nakazawa Participation Award is awarded to the person who scores the lowest score in our Discord pick'ems.
If you've ever seen the league, it's the Sacco.
Now, it's an award that we give with love, but because you weren't good.
Yeah, right, exactly. And you know what? We've had a varied group of people. We've done this was the third time. Not once have we had the same people receive the award. I'm keeping a running log of everyone who receives the award, and
Bryce and I are also happy that we haven't won it yet.
Tonight we add Carissa to our ranks. So congratulations, Carissa, on your Michael Nakazawa Participation Award. That just means that next time's your time to shine.
Yeah, it's only uphill from here. One-handed clap for Carissa on that one.
Thank God this doesn't come out till Monday.
Now, when I say that it's only uphill from here, that's for a reason. Because our number one contender, the person who came in second place tonight in the rankings with 88 points, it was last month, or I guess 2 weeks ago, Michael Nakazawa Participation Award winner, Harry. So Harry, climbed from the bottom of the pile all the way up to second place, 1 point shy of our new AEW champion.
New champion.
New champion. New AEW server champion. And that person is, with 89 points, Shane O'Mac 84.
Oh, wow.
Congrats.
Wow.
Man.
Bombshell.
Now, our former champion came in third behind those two. So still had a serious showing tonight.
Still in the tops.
Still doing well, but cut down in his prime.
Yeah, you're talking a lot, but we have some more important issues to sort out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I going to have to grow a fucking mullet?
Are you going to have to grow a mullet? You and I had a bet. Our bet was that I put my title back on the line last month, or a couple weeks ago. I got your mask. This week we put on your hair, which you shave all the time.
Right.
So I told you were going to have to grow it into a mullet if you wanted a shot at the title.
Correct.
You took that challenge. You took it. I got 72 points.
Took it in stride because I want to make it known that's kind of like a win-win for me.
Yeah,
honestly.
we've been talking throughout the show of the mullet and its gorgeousness and also its name.
Yeah.
Well, throw all of those dreams against the rocks, boys, because you pulled 75 points to my 72.
Oh,
congrats, buddy.
I might do it anyway.
For the first time in, I think, over 2 years, we have a new Reed House champion, and the title is with you now.
Hey, wait, hold up. I have a question, Anthony.
Yeah.
How does my dick taste?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you like that?
Thought maybe there'd be a little bit of class.
No, I don't know. Have we met?
Yeah. Also, who won between the hosts? Did Bryce finally beat me?
I
will stack.
If anyone's going to find out what Bryce's dick tastes like, it's going to be you, because I only lost by 3 points. You got 64, so you have 11 points
Yeah, that's
deficit
fine. That's fine
on
because
Bryce.
he just shit the bed the past 2 times.
My God, it's good to be the king.
He also got
Right
fucked by
now,
merch
I feel
too.
like it's a gap that's closing here because there's only been 3 fucking shows, so you can't be that excited about like 2 wins.
Oh, yeah, I
You
can.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can because we've had a longer record of Ultima Luchas, as well as Bryce got fucked by merch tonight because he couldn't get the shirt he wanted.
Dude, we have a show where we can talk about that shit, okay?
No, that was funny.
Anthony, are there more? Do you have like a average statistic, things like that? Usually you come heavier than this.
Look, yeah, usually I do. All right.
I want to go to bed.
Well, it's just Anthony comes on, and he comes on.
Yeah.
Every time he comes on, he proves that he should be hosting the show and not us. I take my barbs where I can get them. You know.
Fair enough. Like,
Hey,
yeah,
you know
that
what?
whole
Not today.
Yeah.
Tonight,
fucking 10
tonight
minute.
I'm not hosting this show.
The 10-minute recording last time.
Hey, you get what you pay for.
So do
or
you have
apparently way more than that?
Do you have average statistics or not?
So I did take some average statistics. There were some interesting things about the average statistics, but none of them are quantifiable in math. So I will say that although I don't have the final score for the average person beat everybody on the card tonight.
Wow.
There were no less than guaranteed 2, but I think 3 matches where the average got perfect score. Because apparently in an aggregate, we're just really good.
Well, we had to get
because
1
our
out of
scores
3
were
for
not
this.
even that bad. The scores were pretty high. I think overall the scores were higher than they have been in the previous month.
Sure.
But the average was just real on point tonight.
Well, it's partly that. It's also like, we've had 2 of these now. We can actually start looking at trends of booking, whereas the Fighter Fest and especially Double or Nothing, we are just throwing shit at the wall.
I also feel like tonight, in a way that they should, because All Out is going to sort of culminate a bunch of these things.
Yeah.
Fight for the Fallen was a little more straightforward in its booking.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm not the host.
Sure.
There weren't any like massive surprises or upsets in these matches.
Yeah, I would say so.
And so I think that led to a lot more points. Sure.
Yeah.
It was like they made something interesting.
Yeah. Yes. The problem is now that you've watched the show, you're leaking into the part of the show that you're not allowed to be in. Okay. So we have to let you go. But thank you so much for coming on.
I don't want to be in your stupid show anyway.
Okay. Well, go back to work already. Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't want to help your show on Labor Day.
So, well, you won't. You're going to be at fucking Chicago anyway.
Oh,
so,
I'll be flying home on Sunday. I could come help you.
He could, but now he's going to come and hinder you.
So, Bryce.
What?
All Out. My title. I'm getting it back.
Okay.
So I'm not putting shit up for it because it's mine now. It's mine to get back. Then we'll talk about it. But right now, yeah, it's mine. Have a good night, guys.
Later, bud.
Love you, brother. Bye.
We call ourselves the Elite.
Better than you, and you know it.
If not us, who? And if not now, when? We don't care about race or gender or sex or religion. If you're an elite athlete, we want you. Change the world. We are gonna change the whole universe!
This is what you call a paradigm shift.
He saw what wrestling was and realized what it could be.
All Elite Wrestling!
For the 17th time, it's Monday morning. And you know what that means? It's time for the only professional wrestling podcast that is changing the world every week. This is Seeing the Elite, an AEW podcast. I am your host, Bryce Reed. I'm joined by my friend, my co-host, my tag team partner, Mr. Jonathan Davis.
How's it going, buddy?
Live from our Airbnb in the white trash Riviera.
Jackoffville.
Jackoffville, Florida, as so eloquently put by the Ayatollah of rock and roll himself, Chris Jericho.
Yeah, we probably just lost like at least 50 subscribers just from that.
Not our words. So this is kind of interesting. This is the first time we're kind of doing this sort of new format for this, because it seemed kind of weird to like go back and talk about being the elite and stuff after the show had happened, and it's just not really something that we can capably do here. So we're going to talk about our experiences seeing the show live here in Jacksonville. Besides the obvious, which is that it was hot as fuck, which is why if you were watching the show at home, everybody looked like old Southern grandmas in the stands with the paper fans that they were handing out to everybody.
Yeah, we definitely did not realize when we decided to come to this that this was an outdoor event. I get the feeling like as through some of the matches, some of the talent did not realize that this was going to be an outdoor event.
But it was a really cool setup, really cool sort of non-traditional wrestling venue that they managed to do it in. They had a lot of kind of weird production hiccups during the show. Not just camera stuff, but like audio stuff too. Was kind of an issue. There were kind of reused set elements as we had expected, but not in the same configuration, mostly because they couldn't do it the way that people would have expected. But
yeah, there was also some weird stuff like being in the arena that people were, at least in the crowd, were having issues with.
Yeah, there were some obstructed view seats. Just looking at it, where there were seats that probably had very little ability to see the ring, but luckily there were enough empty seats that people could move. So,
I mean, even still, it was still pretty full.
Yeah,
compared to like how like Ticketmaster and shit had made it seem that this was not going to be anywhere close to being a sellout. Like, you know, we looked around and like there weren't many empty seats.
Yeah, there were maybe 100 or 200 from selling out.
Yeah,
which was nice to see. But certainly in the less desirable areas and in the obstructed view areas, you could see sort of rather large gaps.
Yeah, they definitely didn't take the other wrestling show, route of, we'll just block everything off so that it looks full. They went with it and took it like, yeah, we got some empty spots. Oh, well.
Yeah, things we won't be talking about. And we talked about them a little bit with Anthony. We should have actually asked Anthony when they went off the air. Because we don't know what people saw or didn't see. I assume that they didn't see the whole thing.
They may have, though, because, like he said, they cut off with like 8 minutes to spare or whatever, but,
Maybe. But we won't be talking about commentary or cameras or anything like that because we didn't see them. All we can talk about is the matches. Which overall I thought had kind of winners and losers in terms of who proved themselves and who didn't.
Yeah, definitely.
And there were the sort of biggest takeaway from this one was there were quite a few performers where we had to be like, all right, if this isn't a great match for you, then you probably can't have great matches.
Yeah, and some of those people we were proven wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Others it was exactly what we expected, and then there was a few who now got added to the list.
Yeah. So let's go through the card from top to bottom as best we can remember.
Yeah, so we have to skip the first match because we didn't see it.
Yeah, we didn't see it. We were okay, so merch line was so long.
And to clear it up, we've talked to some of our friends that were at Fighter Fest, and there the merch line was horrendous because no one knew what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
We had the issue of everybody was on the same page. There was just a shit ton of people that wanted AEW merch.
Yeah, they were understaffed and they were understocked too.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff was sold out.
Honestly, good problems to have.
Sure. Well, understocked is a good problem to have. Understaffed is not.
It's not necessarily that they were understaffed. It's just that they were not expecting that kind of a demand.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, So we ended up missing the first match. And sadly, Bryce got fucked by merch, and I still owe him a T-shirt. So the first match was Sonny Kiss defeated Peter Avalon with Leva Bates. We were told that Leva Bates did interfere for anybody keeping up with the scorecards, but we can't talk about that match really at all. So
because
the next
we didn't see it.
Yeah, we didn't see it at all.
We know that it was fairly short.
Yeah, according to Wikipedia, which is what I'm reading, it was 5 minutes, which makes sense because we got out of merch at like 7:45. So the second match was the lately announced B. Presley and Shoko Nakajima versus Dr. Britt Baker and Riho.
Yeah, if people who listen to this show every week, the last time we spoke to you, we knew about half of this fucking card. So.
Yeah. So, sorry about that. That's not on us because things happened this past. Things fell off the train on this one. This was a good match. I missed part of it because I was still in the merch line. But what I really kind of taken away from it was B. Presley was really good. What I saw of her,
she was. She needs to do more shows with them.
She signed.
Yeah, she signed a long time ago.
Yeah, it just took a little while for her to, have availability. I'm sure she'll definitely be at All Out. Then the Joshi lady Shoko was not impressive at all. Riho did better to me compared to.
She was all right. The biggest thing, and there were some people in Discord who, kind of echoed this sentiment. I'm trying to think of a tactful way to say it. The Joshi women that they've featured, they come in with this sort of John Henry's hammer because Kenny Omega, one of the best wrestlers in the world, absolutely adores what they do.
He
the
does
matches
adore
that they put
Joshi wrestling. Yes.
They're not. It's not great.
I haven't been impressed by it.
Yeah.
It's very sloppy wrestling.
It's wicked sloppy. It seems like they have a very difficult time working in a ring that's sized for 6'5" men.
Yeah, the biggest issue, like A, it's sloppy. B, it's seemingly the tempo's off, and they absolutely cannot wrestle with the non-Japanese women. It shows very apparently.
Yeah, like when they were working with each other, it was fine. They were fine
for the most part. There was one really big hiccup that we'll get to, but
yeah, but as soon as they would work with Britt Baker.
Now, I will say Riho was doing a lot better.
Sure.
Especially compared to the last show where she was working with, I guess the only way to say is an American woman.
Right.
But this one, the Shoko was not good. It was real bad. The problem I had with this match is what I saw of it, I didn't see a lot of Bea Presley or Britt Baker. And this was supposed to be a tag team match, and neither of them were really featured that heavily in the match. And then the really big, honest to God, it was a straight up botch, was Shoko was trying to do a 619 and then got halfway across the ring and then just decided to skip the rest of the way and then just as slow as humanly possible do a 619. And it was disgusting to me. Like, it wasn't. Like, the only reason that move even works and looks good is because it's smooth. It has to be smooth.
You got to do it really fast.
Yeah, when you stop like she did, it just becomes a mess.
Yeah, I guess that's probably, you're right that's probably the best way to describe what the issue with them is that every time I've seen the Joshi wrestle, like even the match that I thought was really good at Double or Nothing.
Well, that was all Joshi, though.
Right. It's been messy. It's been really messy.
It's been sloppy. There's been a lot of botches, and this one was kind of the worst. But, like, those few minutes I saw of Britt, and, seeing her again, she's still impressing me.
Yeah.
Bea Presley was really, really good. I'm kind of hoping that they have a singles match, which was originally teased. By the way, get fucked, ITV. You keep trying to spoil the card, and you get it wrong twice now.
Oh, well, maybe that was the original intention, and then they wanted to do something with the Joshi, so they threw the two Joshi.
That could be it. It also could be that it got leaked, and the team was like, you know what? No, fuck you. We have said that you got a warning after Fyter Fest, and after this one, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
Especially with these being events 2 weeks apart. If this was 6 months apart, where you've had time to forget about it, it would have been a different story. But 2 events back to back, ITV leaked part of the card. Get fucked.
Yeah, that's generally how I felt about that. They're kind of on the bubble for me, where I need to see a match out of them that is legitimately great.
Yeah, because we're kind of getting towards Diva's quality.
Yeah, I mean, there have been
say.
some really terrible. I mean, Diva's quality is a whole other level below. But
they do some impressive stuff, but we're getting to the amount of botches that are happening in each of these matches. It's getting Diva's level.
Yeah, it's tough.
So that was the pre-show. We were all glad that the 6-man tag match got moved out of the pre-show.
That's true. Yeah, it did.
So after the first, at the end of the pre-show, they played that video, which we all watched on YouTube a couple of times now.
Yeah.
There wasn't any real big difference, behind the scenes stuff other than JR walking out, and I'm sure that was probably as part of the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got into the MJF, Sammy Guevara, and Sean Spears versus Darby Allin, Jimmy Havoc, and Joey Janela. It was an odd one. But they're building a lot of storylines in this match, and it was some real good shit.
Yeah, here's my thing with this one. Standout Sammy Guevara. Sorry.
Yeah, as much as I want to hate this kid.
Yeah, we talk a lot of shit about Sammy Guevara, but he was the standout in this match. The biggest disappointment for me was how they handled the MJF Sean Spears thing. Yeah, you really wanted to see them go at each other, and then they never really did in the match. And even when it seemed like there was an opportunity, they didn't.
Yeah, this one may benefit from watching it where you can hear the ring mics, because I know they had a lot of banter.
Yeah, there was a lot of banter.
We couldn't hear it. So I know Darby and Jimmy Havoc and Joey Janela were all having a lot of banter with the opposing team. There was some interesting spots in this. It was a really good match. Darby also stood out a lot. Mm-hmm. He didn't get a lot of time, which was kind of disappointing, but they are definitely building him up in some interesting feuds, because he wants to be feuding with Sean Spears, but obviously Sean Spears and Cody, that's going to be the match.
Right.
That has to be the match.
Yeah.
Sammy very much impressed, and as we'll talk about later, his debut match was hampered, and I think we both agree we see why he was hampered in that match.
We will talk about that.
But you and I, we've seen him in Lucha Underground. Given that was a few years ago.
Yeah.
But the skill jump from Lucha Underground to this is astronomical for that kid.
Yeah, he's great. He's fantastic.
He just fucking looks like Justin Bieber.
MJF did what he did.
We're not really talking about that because it's the normal MJF stuff.
Right.
The Sean Spears stuff was also really good. He did some good moves and was very impressive.
Yeah.
According to the people watching at home, he had a very awesome shirt.
We can see it from where we were. I don't really have anything much more to say about this match other than that Sammy Guevara was the big standout for me. I feel like there was some business after this match, but maybe I'm thinking of a different match.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember. I know there was some spots with Joey Janela that I was very impressed by, and I came by the end of the night because of something else that happened. I came to be recognizing him as the wrestling Andrew WK, which it was a lot of funny stuff. So the next match after that, the tag match, was the much anticipated debut of Brandy in AEW, who defeated Allie in it was a good match. It was a lot better.
I thought it was fine. I'm going to be honest with you. Allie's on that fucking bubble for me too, man. This is the second All Elite Wrestling match I've seen with Allie, and the second one where I felt like it was slow and soft and fine at best.
And what's bad about that is who you were expecting the slow and the softness to be coming from.
Right.
Was not the person doing that. Brandy was stiff. Brandy was real stiff.
Yeah.
They did pull Brandy. She is going full heel. They brought Awesome Kong out as the match was starting.
Yeah,
that
big
was
big
awesome.
reveal. Awesome Kong was the woman on the phone from ages ago.
Yeah, so they did the typical heel stuff. Awesome Kong helped her win.
Right.
It was a really good match. Brandy did a really good job, more than either of us kind of gave her credit for before when we talked about it last week.
And this was the match where I first noticed them doing the time call-outs. And they do the time limits in the arena. You can't hear that.
Yeah, they do it. They announce them in a real fucking weird way, though.
Yeah, it should just be how much is remaining.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter how much has elapsed.
From what I paid attention to, because it kind of blended into the background, they were only doing that at the halfway point, which makes it even odder.
Yeah.
So that is what it is. I don't mind timing out the time limits. It's cool. It's fine.
I like the time limits. I don't need to know how much has passed. I just need to know how much is left.
Yes, as well as Justin Roberts really needs to do a better job of announcing time limits when he's doing his in-ring announcements, or the time limits need to be published ahead of time.
Yeah. Because
it's very confusing, especially towards those later matches where we were... the singles match with Kenny and Shima, apparently that was 30 minutes. Every other singles match all night long was 20.
Yeah.
Then the main event was 60, and we're like, whoa.
I mean, I imagine that once TV starts, like, the time limits will be a bigger deal and will be something we know about ahead of time.
Yeah, they're still working that in. Overall, I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed Brandy's work. She did a damn good job for the amount of experience she had. I'm with you on Allie, though. I don't know, man. She's got they're building an angle with Awesome Kong and Allie because they have a lot of history from Impact.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're also building a Kong match.
Right. And so I guess that'll be interesting to see. But for me, I'm just surprised by sort of Allie's lack of performance.
Yeah, because Allie's been built up to me as one of like the biggest highlights of Impact.
Yeah.
So it's weird. I'm curious to see what the actual match for All Out will be with this. If we're going Aja Kong versus Awesome Kong singles, or if it's going to be a tag match, because they kind of built it both ways.
Yeah, Aja Kong came out at the end of the match and sort of stopped Awesome Kong from...
Yeah, Awesome Kong and Brandy just went full heel and just started beating the shit out of Allie, which I was fine with this.
Then Aja Kong came out with the trash can, and there was sort of a stare down, which led to an exit from the heels. And so there's a couple of setups that they could go here.
Yeah, I'm betting the most obvious one is going to do tags.
Yeah.
For All Out, because everything we talk about for future building is going to be at All Out.
I will say in the arena, especially with it being an outdoor venue, like you hear a lot of talk from performers about how sort of outdoorish venues will kind of dissipate sound really quickly. And having never seen wrestling in an outdoor venue, I didn't really understand that. Being in that crowd, I was like, wow.
You can't use this as your example. This is very much an edge case because this is an amphitheater.
Yeah.
It's meant to trap sound.
But even in this case, I noticed a lot of it going.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of the sound, like a lot of the ambient noise that would just be there in an arena wasn't there.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, a lot of the normal wrestling noise that you typically hear, the slams on the boards on the mat, you didn't hear it at all every time. Mm-hmm. Part of that was also because a lot of the slamming on the mats were very light people.
Yeah.
Which, our friend Sean that was with us, he noticed it very heavily during the 6-man tag match because Darby kept doing some flips and shit and you didn't hear anything. But it's also, Darby weighs like 120 pounds.
Right.
So, yeah, there was that. But, the slaps and the stiffness, you could even from where we were, which was kind of far away. There were at points that you could really
could really hear the big stuff.
Yeah. So that was that match. That was an 11-minute match, which is for a seemingly neophyte, and a trained performer who should have been a lot better. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
The next match was the 3-way tag match for the tournament. Mm-hmm. This was some good shit, man.
Yeah, this was the one that picked up for me where I was like, okay, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so we had the Dark Order, who had a good entrance.
Good, decent entrance. Was worried about them falling flat. They totally didn't. I thought they were great in this match.
They were. The work was good. The ring gear is a little weird.
The ring gear still. I don't know that the gimmick is working.
The gimmick's not working.
But they're working in the ring really well.
Yeah. And for people that were paying attention and noticed the Dark Order's entrance, there was one outlier on their ring crew. I guess you could call it their throne. So you just had one guy that's randomly wearing a shirt, and it's just like you see this guy and he's like, I'll do it, but I'm not taking off my shirt. It came into play later, but it was really funny because, we were speculating. It was like, did that guy just not want to take his shirt off? Did they need a guy because someone called in sick, and the guy that is a different performer and had like really, unique tattoos, so you knew who he was, and he obviously couldn't be like a ring extra.
Right.
It was them against Angelico and Jack Evans, and what's seemingly named A Boy and His Dinosaur.
Yeah, interesting that they've now added Marco Stunt to this team.
Which was funny because as they came out, we just thought it was a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was a girl.
Yeah,
I thought it was like a girl that they brought out just from a distance because we were far enough away.
It kind of made it feel like, oh, Lucha or Jungle Boy's little sister came
and
to
then,
Florida with
and
him.
then when they started doing, and this isn't, I'm not trying to throw shade at Marco Stunt. That's what it looked like from far away. And then when he started doing the type of moves that Marco Stunt does, I got on Discord. I was like, is it Marco Stunt? Because they didn't say who it was really.
Well, not just that they were doing the moves that he's typical doing, but
right.
more that like he was doing things that if this was an actual civilian,
he was getting thrown around. He was getting thrown around. And they were great. The standout is Luchasaurus, who I thought did an awesome job. I mean, we've known he's a star for a long time.
Yeah, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus did a great job. Jungle Boy got the shit whipped out of him. Angelico and Jack Evans were great heels throughout the match.
Yeah.
I definitely want to rewatch this one with the commentary and the ring mics because I know Jack Evans was talking shit the whole time.
Yeah. The Dark Order for me also were a big win. And they were kind of against all odds on that because you're right, the gimmick isn't working. I don't even have a problem with the ringer. I just don't know that this sort of they're dark, so very theatrical characters is working with the rest of what everybody else is doing.
It's very odd of this very sports-centric promotion.
I mean, they got, Luchasaurus sitting across from in the ring and shit.
Yeah, but you still have them doing this weird shit. Mm-hmm. The ring work was good.
Yeah.
So that stood out, which we were really not. I wasn't, anyways, expecting it to be good. So they will be going on to All Out to face the Best Friends,
right? Which
will be a wonderful match.
So we have that set up, and the winner of that gets a first round bye in the inaugural Tag Team Championship tournament, which will start with TV, which they did they confirmed for October, but like they'd all but done that anyway.
Yeah, Jericho in his promo that came later flat out said it'll be on TNT in October.
Yeah.
So after that one, we had what started to be the longer matches. We had Adam Page and Kip Sabian. Right. I'm gonna be honest, man. This one was rough.
I think Kip Sabian was the biggest loser in the night.
Yeah.
Because we had seen his match at all
Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing. with
all double or nothing.
all double or nothing.
That's next year.
They just push all the events together and do it for 12 hours, just like WrestleMania. We'd seen this match with Sammy Guevara, and never was it more present on this night because we watched Sammy Guevara in a match, and he was fantastic. And then we watched Kip Sabian go out in a match, and it was
dog
dog shit's kind of the wrong word. It was like he was playing in slow motion.
It was
the whole time. Everything was slow. We were there live in the arena, as visceral as the experience can get, and we were bored for most of this match until near the end
of a 20-minute match.
This
went 19.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know me. You know, you've hung out with me for, it's been a while since we've hung out. But,
right.
The past 24 hours, you have seen how ADD I am.
Yes.
While we were at the event, I was not ADDing out until this match started.
Yes.
And it was like, okay, I got to play on my phone because I'm fucking bored. And I'm real bored. And it's bad. Adam Page did as well as he could. And which is really, when you have a guy that is dynamic as Adam Page.
Yeah, that's the thing, is we know it's not fucking Adam Page that was slowing this match down. It was Kip Sabian. And every time where it seemed like it was like, okay, this is when it would then just chug back and be like, okay. And it's been a philosophy in wrestling forever, like slow down so people can feel the emotion or whatever. Kip Sabian looks like a guy, when you look at him, you're like, oh, this match is going to be crazy.
It's going to be a baller match.
And then it was like molasses, the whole thing. Yeah. And in the room, you could feel it. Like everyone was kind of like, okay, when are they going to do something?
Yeah, and it was kind of disappointing because you could tell a lot of the crowd is all over Hangman.
Yeah.
He's got the heat, and then he had that match.
Yeah. It was Sabian who took that bump onto the ramp, though, right?
Yeah, he's the first one that did.
Yeah, and that was gnarly. And after that,
it seemed like that stuck a rocket up his ass.
I feel like the match got somewhere after that, but I think that was the last 5 minutes of the match.
Yeah, I mean, we had to get there first. Hangman impressed as always. I mean, I don't really have a lot I can say about this match.
But I've been saying people are on the bubble.
Kip
Sabian's the biggest dude where I'm like, I don't see what he's bringing personality-wise, because he gave him a promo, too, and it kind of sucked.
The only thing I can think that he's bringing in personality-wise is
Penelope Ford.
Well, I'm thinking, they brought Joey Janela.
Oh, they want to do that program?
Maybe, but what I was thinking is they brought Joey Janela in, and Penelope is his manager and ex-girlfriend. And Penelope was like, well, I'll come in and I'll be Joey's manager. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But I want Kip to be in because he's my new boyfriend. And Penelope hasn't wrestled in AEW yet. I'm hoping she does because I've heard she's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a
maybe. But from a promo perspective, I didn't care for the promo, and in the ring, I felt like he was just way too slow.
Way too slow. Yeah. So the next match, easily my favorite of the night, Lucha Bros versus Socal Uncensored. Man, both these teams were fucking fire hot.
Yeah. Not only was it an incredible match, I mean, not the greatest match we've seen the Lucha Bros do. As much as I love SCU, I just don't think they work on that level, and it's kind of hard when last time we saw them, it was against Young Bucks, right? You know what I mean?
I mean, they're not on the same level, but they fucking tried.
They
tried to be on the same level as Pentagon and Phoenix, and
I don't mean to make it sound like it wasn't a great match.
No.
And the biggest shocker for me, not that it's ill deserved, I think he's deserved it for a long time, is Pentagon continues to impress with how connected to the crowd he is. In the temple, we used to say, as soon as Pentagon enters the temple, it becomes the temple of Pentagon. And him walking in that room is like that now.
Dude, especially in the gear that they had on tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And their entrance was great. They actually didn't come out in, like, gray jumpsuits.
No, they came out in their legit entrance gear that's badass as
with
hell.
the fire spitters that they have now, which was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, SCU came out. They had the crowd in the palm of their hands. They had a good promo. They did their normal shtick.
Right. And it was, cute, like it always is.
It really was. I will say the biggest on that side of it, the biggest thing for me was Christopher Daniels was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like he's got so much left in him. I know it's not a lot, but he does have that in him. And that role he was in tonight was exactly what he needs to be doing. Keep Scorpio Sky and Frankie in there, but definitely have Christopher Daniels in as that. I'm a wrestler. I'll come in and fuck you guys up as their manager. And, Pentagon and Phoenix were like, all right, it's 3-on-2. Let's fucking do this shit.
Yeah, man. And around town, I saw that as well. Evidence of Pentagon's probably so many Pentagon shirts
Lots
everywhere.
of Pentagon shirts.
And they're not easy to get a hold of either because he's not on Pro Wrestling Tees.
And especially the ones that people had. Those were like you have to buy them from Pentagon.
Yeah. So, and that was really nice to see. But, man, did they continue to impress in the match? Not going to go over any of the big spots. We saw so much stuff tonight that it's kind of hard to break down big spots.
The biggest spot and the funniest spot was Pentagon was doing his glove trick.
Oh, yeah.
With Aubrey Edwards as the ref, and he does his thing, and he points at her because he knows she's never done this before, and he throws the glove up, and she misses the catch, and the crowd lost its fucking mind.
Just booed.
And Pentagon was like, oh no, we'll do it again. We're doing this until you get it right.
She threw it back to him and he throws it again. That was amazing.
It was so good, dude. Spot wise, dude, it's a Lucha Bros match.
It's a Lucha Bros match. Man. It was awesome. And then of course they came out at the end. They did some work with a ladder. The Lucha Bros climbed to the top of a ladder and
they beat the shit out of SCU with the ladder.
They challenged the Young Bucks to a ladder match to prove who is the best tag team in the world at All Out, which is unbelievable.
It's gonna be so good.
And people are like, it's Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks, Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks. But when you have those two teams, like, just throw them against each other over and over again because they're the two best tag teams in the world. So like I don't know what you want.
As well as now, you're literally giving them something to fucking jump off of.
Right. It's going to be, I think it's really going to be something incredible.
This match could literally blow the roof off of the Sears Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after that one, that was a medium length match. It was 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Then we moved into the co-main event of the evening, which was for you and I, this was the big ball breaker match.
Yeah.
This was Kenny versus Shima. You and I have both been on record multiple episodes now saying, like, if Shima doesn't do something, I'm done.
Yes, Shima invented the bubble. Shima was on the bubble before anybody else. And granted, I will say, before we continue with our breakdown of this match, if you can't have an incredible match with Kenny Omega, then get the fuck out.
Yeah. Which we're going to take a pause on that because we missed something.
Oh, yeah?
We missed the end of the Adam Page match where the minion from the Dark Order with the shirt on.
Right, Jericho came out and attacked him.
Yeah. So the minion from the Dark Order was Jericho, I'm guessing the entire time.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, the body, it has to be. The body type was too similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he just sneaks out at the end of the Adam Page match and then just shit whips Adam Page. And we're sitting in the crowd. It's like, oh, okay, they're going to do the promo.
Yeah, now. I was expecting him to do the promo. Then he doesn't do it.
He just slowly walks out, giving everyone the death glare. It was great. So yeah, then we'll get back into it. We had the Kenny versus Shima match. Man, I was impressed.
I was impressed by the second half of it.
Yeah,
the first half of it was slow. Again, like they were trying to find the rhythm to it. But
once they did,
when he did that spot where he jumped off the stage and landed on Kenny on the bell keeper's table.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude.
From then on, the match I thought was fantastic.
It's very similar to with Kip of that spot, shove the rocket up his ass.
Yeah, but thankfully the spot happened a lot earlier in the match.
Yeah. Yes, very true. This match is especially where the crowd was starting to get restless.
Yeah.
And getting very annoyed because of how the stage was set up. They couldn't really have, like a Jumbotron showing the action.
Yeah.
Just because of how it was with the camera setups. Like, if they had a Jumbotron on with the action going, you're going to start having the tunneling effect. So they flipped on the Jumbotron for parts of this match so that you could see what was going on while they were on the ground where, you just couldn't see.
Right.
Which then turned the crowd into chanting every single time. It didn't matter what was going on. I was like, we want the big screen. We want the big screen. It's like, guys.
Which
go home.
Wasn't a problem for us where we were. Although I will say the biggest problem for us throughout the show was just and it's the same problem. The venue is built so that every seat can view the stage easily.
Stage keyword. There.
Right. With the elevation of the stage. It's mathematically built so that that's the case. Not so that everyone can view the floor right in front of the stage.
Yeah, you're not intended to be seeing the pit, essentially.
So if anybody walked up or down the aisle next to our seats, we basically couldn't see until they were done doing what they were doing, which wouldn't have been the case if we were trying to watch the stage. But it was the case because of where the ring was located. And
it also became the case at the annoyance factor of there's people that were just walking around in the middle of matches and not... in the matches where you expect people to get up and down and be moving around. And like, we're talking like in the middle of the Lucha Bros match, you had a whole row of people go get beers. And it's like, what the fuck, guy?
Yeah, it was a cool venue. I'm sure it came off cool on the tapings. It wasn't necessarily 100% conducive.
It was also a free venue.
Sure. They also didn't have to pay anything for it, right? So, but... so I understand the people who are in the back who are saying we want big screen or whatever. I thought it was fucking annoying, but I understood what they were asking for because I'm sure had I been sitting in their seats, I'm sure there was a lot of there were guys where I was like, wow, your seat is right behind that fucking pole.
Yeah, it more of just got annoying that in the fact of flat out, like, if you're going to sit here and seriously chant to have a big screen, go the fuck home and finish watching the show at home.
Yeah, I didn't really buy a ticket so I could watch it on TV.
Yeah, like, I don't want to watch a show on a TV screen. Now, if I was at WrestleMania and I was a mile away, which is normal, sure, I want to watch it on the Jumbotron, but I also want to be there because I'm not spending $10,000 to be close enough to see it.
Right.
And even then, I probably won't be able to see it. Thanks, green light. But yeah, so that got annoying. But like during this match is when they really started with that. But this was a really good match. I was very impressed by Shima. I think a lot of people were very impressed by Shima because I don't think, and maybe I've been reading online. I think we are the outliers on that other people have been impressed by him. But it's also like something your brother said in the middle before this match started was, I didn't realize Shima was an old guy before when I was doing my picks. Oh, fuck.
But I still thought he was good. In fact, by the end of that match, I really didn't know which way it was going to go.
Yeah, like it could have gone either way. We were sitting there like, man, Kenny's going to lose.
Yeah, he was, in terms of... from a bubble perspective, the guy who like came off the best. But I don't think having a great match with Kenny Omega is a great litmus test because, of course.
Yeah, he needs to have another singles match that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
I'll say decent as the best word for it because it doesn't have to be really great. It's just really got to be a decent match. But we'll see going. We'll see. But I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting. Just reading something on Twitter. Pretty sure Britt Baker got a concussion during her match.
How?
That kick from B. Presley.
It's the little things that do it, I guess.
It really is. So, yeah, that's, we're literally recording at 2 o'clock in the morning. We're reading shit online. And then, after the Kenny match, We had Jericho's promo, which was great.
Yeah, it was great.
He lit the crowd up, and it was funny to see a heel promo and the crowd still eating it up. And, you know, his big thing is like, I want my thank you. I want my thank you. And
right, and the crowd was thanking him.
Yeah, and then he's still just shit-talking the crowd, and they're just like, okay.
And this was all just set up to have Hangman come out.
And whip ass. That was funny. The people that came out to, you know, break up the brawl was so random.
Yeah, it was, and Helico and Jack Evans and like Jerry Lynn and shit.
But also Peter Avalon.
Yeah, and Q came out. And
so it was just really random. One of the refs got fucked up.
Yeah.
Because Hangman, you know, it's not intentionally, Hangman V-triggered a ref as he was trying to tackle Jericho.
And so that it was, you know, kind of a basic pull apart type of thing.
It was funny though. We were sitting there like, who the fuck is the old guy?
But yeah.
So you know, that was that. That's obviously, you know, that match at All Out is going to be money.
Yeah.
There's not really much to say about that. We both expected Jericho to have a match of some sort. What's funny,
I mean,
though,
you know, he did a pull apart angle. Like, that's fine.
it was funny though that you know, they took enough time between him beating the shit out of Adam Page and coming out again that he was in his full Jericho I'm a rock star gear, from the scarves to the 80s jacket and the goddamn fedora.
Right, and they kept the Painmaker thing.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm good with that.
they
That's
didn't
cool.
keep the face paint, but
That's no, that face paint's stupid. So after that, you know, we moved into the main event. It was long.
yeah,
It was
too long.
It was too long. It was very much a style mismatch.
Yes,
But we knew that going into it.
and I didn't think the match was terrible. I felt like it outstayed its welcome, and I felt like the styles didn't mesh very well.
I mean, I would still give that match a 7 out of 10.
Sure.
There weren't any like bad parts of
No,
it.
it wasn't bad.
Just, there was parts that were slow and dead. Mm-hmm. And there were parts of it that were very high flying and very fun. You know, you had Cody and Dustin doing some high flying shit that was cool.
Yeah.
You had a lot of both brothers doing their gimmicks, and then you had the reverse of the other set of brothers doing that to the, you know, the opposing ones.
Yeah.
They did the hug with like, I need my
the Young
older
Bucks did
brother.
it. Yeah. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I mean, it was some good stuff. I'm guessing the getting whipped by the weight belt is now one of Cody's signature moves.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with that.
It's easy to pass that it's fine, right? Because it's clothing, right? So, like, are people going to get mad because he hit someone with his boots, you know?
Yeah,
like,
but that hurts, man.
Sure. No, I just mean from a rules perspective.
It's also Rick Knox was the ref, and Rick Knox gave zero fucks
doesn't
throughout
give a
that
shit,
whole
dude.
match. Especially, you know, he took like 3 bumps. I think one of them was unintentional. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the match. I wasn't a fan of the finish, but it is what it is. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. I really enjoyed the match.
What didn't you like about the finish?
What do you think I didn't like about the finish?
That the Bucks won?
Again.
So you wanted them to lose against a tag team that hasn't worked together in the last 5 years?
Yeah, they need to lose.
Against a tag team that hasn't worked together in the last 5 years?
It doesn't matter how long they haven't
After
worked
they've
together.
just beat the Lucha Brothers twice, you want them to lose to the Rhodes Brothers?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Because
I think that's stupid booking.
No, what's stupid booking is fucking Tony booking, apparently. If you've listened to
listen
Vliet.
to Van Vliet's thing with the Bucks. It's really good, and it kind of clears up a lot of the issues that Jonathan has been having.
Yeah, the Bucks agree with me. Fuck off, all of you.
I think having them lose this match would have been really stupid.
That's fine, especially with the Lucha Brothers angle. I mean, obviously, I was kind of, you know, still picking with my heart instead of my head with this because I have more of a connection with the Rhodes Brothers than I do the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
But that's just because of the wrestling I watched
Right.
in my time of watching wrestling.
I agree. The Rhodes brothers are great, but they're not a tag team.
Yeah, it's fair. That's fine. I
so I wouldn't have wanted them to win over a team that like they took 2 wins over the Lucha brothers to show that like this is going to be the tag team to beat in AEW. I wouldn't want them to do that and then immediately burn it off with.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah, I agree.
The Rhodes brothers.
I see what you mean, but it's also is like they can't keep winning, and they agree with me. Fuck right off, Discord. I jokingly say that. You guys all know that. So here's the thing. That was a very good match. There really were no losers in this match.
No.
There's four guys. These 2 sets of brothers put on a hell of a match. It was really good. It was a little weird that there was no color in this match.
It was a little weird. I'm glad that there wasn't.
I'm glad there wasn't too, because you would have lost. But there was also some periods where you had one of the Rhodes brothers out of the ring for a very extended time, as if he was going to blade, and then he didn't, and it was like, oh, okay.
I think it would have been. Then it becomes like a gimmick.
Yeah, it would have
if they'd done it. Gimmick. So I think it was good that they didn't do it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match. It was a lot of fun. Their end of the match promo got cut a little short. I got cut a whole lot short, apparently.
Yeah. Again, we talked about this with Anthony, but they have hard outs in Jacksonville, and so they cut it short. Seemingly, the guys in the ring, at least Matt, who was talking at the time,
he was completely
was legitimately like, whoa, wait, like
we're not
there
done
was
yet.
Something important to be said, but they were like, no, we're going through.
Yeah, so
they had to bring Shad out and have them do the check. Crazy to see him on camera.
He for anyone who's like thought about like the Khan family and Tony's dad and like just never seen a picture of him, just seen his name.
Right.
He is 100% exactly what you think. He is the Middle Eastern man with the big mustache who had on a brand new AEW pullover that you could tell they just pulled out of a fucking bag. It was really cool to see him here. It makes a lot of sense that he showed up. It's all his property for one.
Sure.
But this is also a cause that's been Tony said it, and a lot of the articles have said it. This is something that's very important to him, especially since this happened. So the original event that spurred them having Fight for the Fallen happened in Jacksonville, not far from where we were.
Yeah, like 2-3 blocks away.
Yeah, so it was really cool to see him come out and handing the check over to the charity guy. I can't remember his name. But yeah, they raised over $150,000 for charity.
Yeah.
This charity we can't remember the name of it. We'll put it in the show notes. It was, really cool segment. I don't know what of this got on TV. None of the guys, as they were in the ring, they were all like, yeah, I don't know what's going to make it on TV, but we're just going to roll with it. And if this is on TV,
they kept saying that. They kept saying, I don't know if we're on the air or not. Which people in Discord kept saying that they were saying that, so I think they probably were on the air the whole time.
Yeah, so Kenny gave a form of his send off.
Yeah, but since it ends with him shooting a gun, that probably wasn't
taste.
great,
yeah.
Right? So they changed it to boing instead, which was nice.
Yeah, Cody gave a fucking baller promo.
Yeah,
that is like yeah,
you can't counter program what we're doing here,
and essentially, without saying the words, but saying the words, we're fucking coming for you. It was great, dude. I loved every minute of it. And just, seeing the passion on Cody as he was giving that was great. Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, for the Van Vliet stuff, buddy, you got to start podcasting this shit. I can't be watching a 55-minute YouTube video.
Yeah, just put it on in the background, man.
I can't put it on my phone and put it on in the background. That's why I podcast it, man.
Yeah. That was Fight for the Fallen. It was a pretty wild experience to be there in the room for this thing that's like still very much in its infancy.
I will say this event was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be.
Well, yeah, especially in the days leading up, where
I mean,
half the card was announced, right?
Even still, even when we knew the card, I was still looking at it, I was like, okay, cool, we're gonna be out of here at 11.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to go to 11:45.
Yeah,
but a lot of it was that last match. That last match was 34 minutes.
32 ish.
Yeah, and it probably could have been 24. And it would have been great.
When they announced it was going to be 60 minutes, they had to go over 30. Or it would have been like, yo, what? Would have been like,
why'd you give that 60-minute time limit if you weren't even going to come close to that? I mean, ostensibly they didn't anyway, but
which was us. If we had known about the Jacksonville noise ordinances, we would have been calling bullshit on that the whole time.
Yeah, man. It was a really wonderful night, and Cody's speech especially stuck with me. It just try to be like, if you want to try to go head to head with us, then like I'd like to see you fucking try.
Yeah, he was straight up, bring it on. One of the downsides of tonight, we didn't get to hand out any of our stickers because of just the circumstances with getting in the door and then the merch. It was
so the way it was handled in terms of like how to actually funnel people into this place was pretty terrible.
So we'll fix that all out.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I know I posted them in the Discord. They've been posted on Twitter. The Young Bucks have a meet and greet at the Pro Wrestling Tee store the week of All Out, or the weekend of All Out.
Yep.
Cody's is sold out.
Yep.
But he has announced, one, that's too late for this recording. It's happening yesterday in Jacksonville. I'm sure people that are in Jacksonville will be going if they want to go.
Right.
There's one in Atlanta on July 19th that still has tickets available. I may be going to that. I'm hoping to go to that. Mm-hmm. I want to hand Cody a sticker. So if you're interested in that, don't read the face value of you're going to get Cody's book. Go with the intention of, I'm going to go meet Cody and Brandy and, get a picture and, I got a book too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. If you get a chance, check that out. Other than that, we're going to do this again at All Out.
Yeah, we'll
have some guests next time.
We'll be back next week with a more structured show. Yeah, we'll have more guests next time, and we'll be having a great time.
Next week we will be back to our normally scheduled programming.
But thank you so much for joining us here on Seeing the Elite. It really means the world to us that you guys are here with us each and every week. As always, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter at Seeing the Elite, and Discord, tinyurl.com/Seeing the Elite to join the Discord.
So congrats to our new champ. Congrats to our new number one contender. Not bad, guys.
Yep.
Sad day for Equal Scorpion 1, but
he'll get it back. He's too good to be a one-time champ.
Yeah, and congrats to Bryce for not having to grow a mullet.
Not having to. This is when I do it anyway. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week. Go out and change the world.